Like I know. I was following this story, saw rent manipulation, right? I mean, these videos, I think there are three videos. Those three videos, there were 16 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 hours, 6 hours, and 7 hours videos. I followed the case and the presentation between the two people. Then, this is how it actually happened. The banks in South Africa went and got prosecuted criminals who manipulated the dollar, and they prosecuted in America to come and help and manipulate these things, rent manipulation, come South Africa. Those guys came from, I think they were three or four, came from USA and be here. Those guys are specialists in trade and manipulating of value and stock, right? Sharp. So they are the experts in so-called collusion and inside trading, which there's an organization in USA called the SEC, Security Exchange, whatever, that actually monitors traders not to trade in wrongly and collude in trading and say, cross information back and forth together, right? Now, banks in South Africa gave these people access to actually trade on their behalf. And then came with this funny story to say, this is how we're gonna trade for you guys, right? We're gonna put you in chat rooms where you're gonna participate and share information. Now, tomorrow in NetBank, you need to buy as much dollar as possible. How much can you avail money? Then NetBank says, I can avail 10 billion. Okay, so buy 10 billion worth of gold of dollar today. And we're gonna reset the price of the dollar tomorrow against the rand, right? Meaning the basic foreign exchange trade system principle says you buy low and sell high. So the dollar value is at low, and NetBanks buys that dollar at 10 billion rands, right? Today. Tomorrow, these people, they change the price of the rands against the dollar. So the dollar becomes at a higher level. Remember, by regular 7 rand 50 each dollar, by regular 10 billion worth of dollars. And then tomorrow, by Regisaka, another rate, which becomes 12 rands, right? And NetBanks makes a lot of money, makes about 30 billion. And then after 30 billion, they sell. They sell the dollar. They made money. They made profit. Now, these traders, they get a certain percentage of that. And then that becomes discovered. Or, no, these people are doing this. Now, it's Absa and Standard Bank and other companies. JP Morgan as well is involved. There's a Swiss bank also involved. There's another bank as HSBC, Go UK Loans Bank. Luana, they're doing the very same thing. They're sharing information. And in 1 week another, they also still trade information. Every bank makes its own billion. But trader, but change information. So these traders, share information. Now, here's the tricky part. The tricky part is now, the people who were doing this are not South Africans. And part and partial of this information, they were doing this not in South Africa. Now the question comes, it's called jurisdiction. Jurisdiction, or we cannot prosecute someone else who's not within the confined law of South Africa, who committed crime in South Africa. Otherwise, that person must come here. So we must send the letter to their country of origin for the crimes that in South Africa, send it to ICC to send it to the country. It's a long process, and the country will say, no, we don't want to get involved. So this person, we cannot fetch. Unless the country agree to come and fetch the criminal. But jurisdiction also, my bad. And these people, most of the time, they do this in international land, come South Africa. There are spaces, zones called international land. Number one, OR Tambo Airport, it's an international zone. So anyone else international can be there, but not be in South Africa, but be in international borders. So these people, they meet trader banks there. They meet top people by the banks in international land. So jurisdiction covers them. Now the counter argument says, banks knew about this transaction and they benefited. Yes, banks benefited from these things because of you cannot have somebody else trading on your behalf and not knowing what this person is doing and not tracking or what this person is doing. So the banks benefited a lot. And because of a bank is benefiting, the bank wouldn't say no for somebody else coming in a strategy for the bank to make money. Now it's fine. Yeah, we have a problem. Rand was manipulated. What. Here's my question. My question. Why wasn't the Reserve Bank not seeing these things? And the Reserve Bank coming and telling us, or the rand versus the dollar today, the dollar is supposed to be 7 rand towards the dollar, towards the rand. Why come now? Why didn't they see these things trading or there's a manipulation of rand then when it's happened? Remember, this has been, I think, the second or third round, yeah, manipulation and making it aware to the courts or the banks are manipulating, but still the manipulation still continues. Why is South Africa doing this? Why isn't the Reserve Bank not seeing this? Why? It's because of some of the owners of Reserve Bank are benefiting from the rand manipulation as the part and controlling shareholders of Reserve Bank. So the people who are supposed to take care of the bank and issue banking license cannot prosecute the bank license because of the masters of Reserve Bank are actually benefiting on another hand through this traders bar. That's why we have a problem. So the rand dollar manipulation is a big network. It's a cartel. Let's say it's a cartel because everything is a cartel. Only drug cartel, only tender cartel, it's a cartel rand manipulation. So in order to stop these things, the rand manipulation, firstly, Reserve Bank should be independent away from shareholders and become a state-owned bank, run as a bank, as an intention, as a country that's running the bank. So policies and everything else has to do with running a bank should be here. So the Reserve Bank cannot run like that. There will be more manipulation of rand, more and more. Check every time when DA ebolela something, the rents you see, it's us. How? It's because of these people knew it. Even DA knew these things. The DA knew these things. Every time they say the economy is going right, tomorrow holds a newspaper and says the economy is growing. Look at the participation near the dollar and the rand. The rand becomes a little bit stronger, the dollar decreases. How and why? It's because DA knew about these things. Anyway, Rasher.